Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira. If you're new to this platform, Dialogue with Khuraira is a platform whereby we celebrate individuals we call the unsung heroes. Who are the unsung heroes? The unsung heroes are people that are doing great things in their various communities for the betterment of humanity. They're changing lives every day through their initiative, but the spotlight might not be on them. For that reason, you may not know of what they're doing. So we find them through social media, through people telling us about them, and we showcase their story. And hopefully, when you listen to them, it will inspire you to also start something that can make a difference in your community so that we can start impacting people's lives one individual at a time, a community, a country, and globally. So, welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira. Excuse me. And today we have with us Dr. Eze, Ambassador Dr. Eze, who is will introduce himself, and from there I'm going to ask him some questions, and that's usually the tradition on Dialogue with Khuraira. Welcome to Dialogue welcome to Dialogue with Khuraira, sir.
Thank you so much. So sorry for the call. So sorry.
Something just went through the
Th-
wrong, and I'm choking. How are
Okay.
you? Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm grateful. It's a privilege to have me, as a guest tonight on the studio. You
Thank
guys
you.
are you guys are doing very great on
Thank
this
you so much.
platform.
Thank you so much. So tell our audience about you, and then we get to work.
Yeah. My name is Ambassador Doctor Eze Ihechukwumere Ezekiel, the President, United Nations Youth Association Nigeria. A 36-year-old youth development advocate, humanitarian,
Mhm.
and United Nations volunteer from the Republic of Nigeria.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
My drive, what I do, is to achieve the aims and objectives of the United Nations Youth Association Nigeria for the betterment, for the benefit of Nigerian youths and volunteers in Nigeria. And also, my work promotes the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria.
Your
Thank you.
wife.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, maybe did you say your wife promotes that?
No, I say my work,
Oh,
the
your
work I
work. Your
do. Yeah,
work.
my
Okay.
job. Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
said your work. You sound like more like Ghanaian. You know, Ghanaians they always say work. Like we say work, and they say I guess you know. Did you live in Ghana or something?
No. I didn't live in Ghana.
Amazing. So you said you do it mostly. Most of your work is at Eastern Nigerian Development Program or project. Did you say? I didn't catch very well.
Yeah, I say the work I do as an advocate.
Yes.
I'm a seasoned advocate.
Yes.
You know, a lawyer by training.
Wonderful.
So I utilize my legal knowledge, my legal training to advocate for achievement, actualization of the 17 goals of the United Nations Sustainable Development
Wonderful.
here in Nigeria.
Great. I'm glad, you know, when I saw that on your bio, I was so excited. I said, what a perfect timing, because with just the recent protest that was held, and the youth came out screaming across the country, talking about, you know, development, employment, you know, that already is part of the vision of the SDG. So how far do you think, since it was introduced, Nigeria had gone from what is expected of them through the SDG?
Yeah, actually, after the expiration of MDGs, which
Mhm.
is the United Nations Millennium Development Goals in
Yeah,
2015.
yeah,
So there's a need for United Nations in the assembly of the member states, we call it General Assembly in 2015 at New York in UN headquarters, to forge ahead to sustain those development goals. So that is what brought the SDGs. The
yeah.
SDGs is to sustain the MDGs.
I see.
So
I see.
coming down to Nigeria, yeah, coming down to Nigeria, when you see from 2015 to 2024, it's about 9 years.
Yes.
Yes, and the SDG is 15 years. So it's gonna
That's
end by 2030. So in the
yes.
next 6 years, it's gonna end. Yeah. So coming down to its actualization in Nigeria,
Hmm.
I will tell you on a sincere note that we are not yet getting it right. You know, one of the reasons is because we're still a developing country.
Yeah.
You cannot compare a developed country with a developing country.
Yeah.
So there are still things need to be done, you know, by the government, by civil society, by private sectors in Nigeria for us to actualize that. So on a sincere note, we are still lagging behind by 4 years. You
Wow.
understand? Yeah, by
Wow.
4 years.
Wow.
So the developed countries are still ahead of us by 4 years in achieving the sustainable development goals.
Yeah. Well, I
So
think looking at the developed countries are only
yeah,
ahead of us by 4 years. We're not doing pretty bad, right? If you look at it that way.
yeah. Actually, we're not really doing that bad.
Yeah,
We're
because
not
you're saying
doing our
America
best.
and many other countries that are developed are only ahead of us with like 4 years. Then, I mean, I will assume that on and someone that is not really in the program that understand how it works, but you're going to help us, educate us, and if we are to if you are to like grade what they are doing in all the different sectors that they are saying that we need to make sure that we reduce and eradicate, try to eradicate, right? Reduce or eradicate poverty by 2030, which we only have 6 years. And it's really scary to even hear that in 6 years is our deadline. And looking at the pictures that was circulating social media with what really poverty is in Nigeria currently, it is like scary. So what is the government not getting right? And also, what are the individuals that are engaged or that have already been trained in this program not doing right to help accelerate the program or the
Yeah,
result?
actually, achieving the sustainable development goal is not it shouldn't be left for the government. So it's not just a government job to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collective responsibility of
Yeah.
both the government, the private sector, the civil society. In fact, everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the government is the driving force in the sense they are the ones to provide the enabling environment.
That's
They are the
exactly.
ones to provide the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the ones to provide the funding to reasonable extent. You know, and how do you provide those things? Is through first the legislation, the laws they make to ensure that those goals are being achieved in Nigeria. That is one. And after making those laws, the second thing is adequate implementation of those laws. Are those legislations, are they really implemented adequately and effectively to achieve the spirit and letters of those laws?
Yeah.
That is one. Two, the government policy, both the federal government policies, state government policies, local government policies. Are they making sound policies to achieve the sustainable development goals, to provide an enabling environment?
Yeah.
For example, when we take quality education, do we have the infrastructure, the needed infrastructure to achieve quality education in Nigeria? Do we have a- enough funding to achieve quality, affordable, and free education? Basically, primary and secondary education. These are the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also our curriculum, our education curriculum, are they being fashioned? Are they being structured in such a way that will achieve quality education with and compete with someone from Europe, compete with someone from America, compete with people from China, you know, and all that. So when you look presently in Nigeria, it's very unfortunate to tell you that our government, you know, from the federal level to the state level to the local government level, they are still more interested in politics, doing what they think is better for them, just grabbing the power. They're interested in grabbing the power. You see someone coming on board within one year, you see planning for the next election. Instead of doing the needful demanded of him, either as the president, as the governor, or whatever, to achieve the sustainable development.
Yeah.
So they are still interested in their personal political gains, political interests, and not the collective interest or the general interest of Nigerians to ensure that the needed infrastructure, the enabling environment, the funding are there to ensure that we achieve sustainable development goals. Same thing with the health aspect of it. Do we have the infrastructure? To have at least to end maternal rate. You know, do we have the infrastructure to fight climate change? Do we have the funding? Even when the funding coming, you see corruption. They will see diversion. You know,
That
so
was what I was going to
uh,
ask you
uh,
next. Go ahead. My next question is regarding the funding. So finish your
yeah,
explanation and let's get into the funding. And then
okay,
we will circle back to the how the politicians are always aiming at getting themselves back in. But go
okay,
ahead, sir.
okay. So you see the the United Nations system and UN agencies here in Nigeria, they have rolled up the plans from 2016 to date on how, see, this is Nigerian government, this is how we achieve this is how we achieve that. You understand?
Yeah.
That because politicians, their interest is
Mm.
not just the interest of the masses. Because when we achieve the sustainable development goals, it will benefit the masses. It will benefit everybody once you are in Nigeria or
Yeah.
you live in Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah.
They but they always put first their political interest, their personal interest over and above any other interest.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
that's why we're still lagging behind to achieve the sustainable development goals. Because Nigeria is a blessed country. We have both the natural resources, we have both the human resources. God really blessed us.
Yes.
Yes. But our problem is poor leadership, bad governance, corruption. You know, these are our problems. If we can do away with poor leadership, bad governance, corruption, I'll tell you that despite Nigeria being a developing country, we will be, you know, matching with United States, matching with European countries in
Yep.
terms of achieving the sustainable development goals,
Yeah.
because we have what it takes to achieve that.
Definitely.
We have
Definitely.
what it takes to achieve that. But
Definitely.
the politicians, the leaders, the political leaders, the people that drive the political leadership, the economy of Nigeria, and all that, always put the political interest first over and above every other interest. Thank you.
So, what kind of how much of a funding do they get to help really drive the the program? Is it like, or do they are mandated to take money from their own budget to do the program, or the United Nations actually allocate funding for that?
Yeah, actually, the member states, are entitled to some fund, funds from the UN, through the UN agencies and US systems to achieve sustainable goals. One. Then to the World Bank. The World Bank, remember, the World Bank is a financial institution of the United Nations.
Hmm.
Also give loans to member states, you know, at a minimal interest to achieve the SDGs.
Wow.
Then also member states here, Nigeria borrow money from China, Nigeria borrow money from France, Paris, and all that. So they also contribute. But the problem is those funds are there judiciously and legitimately utilized by the political leaders to achieve the aim why those funds came in at the first instance. Instead of achieving
Like
those,
what a percentage of it is used towards what it is intended for is the issue you're saying.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, we shouldn't be talking about the percentage. It should be 100%.
Yeah.
When they give you 1,000 naira, for example, go and buy airtime 1,000 naira for us to make this particular call. You shouldn't go and get airtime of 500 naira. You understand? Because it will not be sufficient to make the call, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies. When they are giving enough uh, money needed to, achieve a particular goal, when they got loans to achieve a particular goal, you see they will launder the money,
Mm-hmm.
they will misuse the money, you know,
Hmm.
and all that. So that's just that. Then remember, as I said before, that Nigeria, among African nations, are blessed with natural resources and human resources. So if we have good leaders, good leaders that put the interest of the masses at heart over and above their personal interest, Nigeria will be among the BRICS countries or the BRICS nations. When I mention the BRICS, I mean Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And after the Second World War, these BRICS countries are among the developing countries.
Yeah.
But today, you not say that China is a developing country. No, China is an emerging economy. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
emerging economy. It's one of the
Yeah.
leading economies in the world.
Yeah.
They compete with the likes of the United States of America. They compete with Japan. They compete with UK, France, name it.
Yeah.
Same thing with Russia. You know, Same thing with India. And another thing, despite the population of India and China,
China.
the
That's
population is
exactly
in
what
is
I
in
meant. Yes.
is in billions.
Yeah.
The population is in
More
billions.
than more
You
than what
know,
more than Nigeria. You know.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, the
Many
population is in
African
billions.
countries
But
combined.
but but they are still moving on, utilizing their demographic gains. You know, in bettering their economy and all that. So that's
Uh,
just that.
I actually read a post saying on Facebook earlier where I made a comment was said that they showed a video of like a lot of the kids in northern Nigeria. They said they are the detriment of Nigeria. But I said they're only going to be detriment for the country if the leadership doesn't understand the value of human capital.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you value the human capital, you will utilize that human capital to bring you more wealth. And I think that is exactly what China did. And that is what
India.
India and even Brazil,
Yeah,
they are
yeah,
trying.
Brazil too. Yeah,
Singapore is another. Remember, Singapore was like all the way back there. And look at
yeah,
if you look at the development in Singapore, you'll be shocked. So, but I think we like we have a group where we sit down and we always complain. The government did this, government do that, government did this, government. But most of the people in that group are the la creme of the country, right? So,
okay,
and I just post a question that okay, we sit here and complain and complain and complain about the government. Aren't we the electorate? We are the
yeah,
electorate, right? So
yeah,
is there no place in the Nigerian constitution that address the dissatisfaction of the electorate? There must be one. If your governor, all he cares about, you voted him in, and immediately he got in year one, year two, year three, he's preparing to come back in the next 4 years. So out
yeah,
of that 4 years, he barely did any job, and then you decided to bring him back. Isn't that your fault? You, the electorate?
yeah,
I mean, I think like instead of people to start like constantly be complaining about bad governance, shouldn't these people that all of us that complain, including me, start educating the electorate and educating ourselves that the government are the people. You know that, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
sure.
reason why the government is doing what they're doing because they have a population of people that are not don't value their votes. For example, when it is election time, the Nigerian big men, the educated ones, are home watching, and women are home watching whatever Netflix and what have you. And they leave the house boys, the house girls, the drivers, the laborers to go and vote, do the voting, right? Most of the time, the electorate of the country is probably 60% or 70% of them are the uneducated. And you know what happens when you have the uneducated lined up to vote, right? They give right at that moment they can be given 1,000 naira and they change the vote.
Yeah.
So whose fault is it? How many millions are educated Nigerians that decide not to go to the voting booth and vote the right leader? So there are many, we may blame the government, and because the government feel comfortable because they know that you can complain all you want. By next year, the next election cycle, you're going to sit down and watch your, what do you call it, 70 screen TV and be watching your shows and allow your house girl and houseboy to go vote for you. So you're allowing the people that don't know what economy is all about to be the one deciding your future. Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that if we want and this goes to all African countries, if we want to really change how we're being treated by government that we put into power, is to start respecting our vote.
Yeah, sure.
Because right here in this country, from us to our children, election day, you must go and vote.
Sure.
And all your representatives know that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, that you send them to do, the next election cycle, they're not coming back.
Sure.
Well, we the educated ones, we're not doing our duty, and we're busy accusing the government. And because we allow the illiterate to go and vote, I think, like, for me, if we really want good governance, for a lot of the things to change, and this goes for any African country, is that we need to start respecting our votes.
Sure.
We need to understand that our vote, your vote, determine how you're being treated in the next 4 years. So, and if you value your life to be good in the next 4 years, sacrifice within that 12-hour window and go stand in line and cast your vote. And when they start seeing all the elite standing in line and casting their vote, next time they will think twice not to do that. So I think, sir, to make your job much easier, and for our goals, all the goals within that 6 years to be accomplished, is I think you should do election awareness. That should be investment should be on massive awareness on everybody, from the educated ones to the non-educated ones, to understand that if you stand in line and you are giving 2,000 naira or a bag of maize or rice and some wrapper and what have you, and you go, that is what you're only getting in the next 4 years. There will be no school for your children. There will be no hospital. Are you going, if we start really painting that picture into the illiterate themselves, especially now that they are so aware of what is happening, I think there will be by the next election, 2027, by the next election, a lot of the leaders will start thinking twice and start doing what they were sent to do. Because all the people that are occupying that office are working for you. But you're not getting the respect you're getting because you did not respect your vote. And I think we should stop lamenting and like, let's maybe go back to the drawing board and start thinking, And what can we do to show these people that we respect ourselves? And for those ones that are supposed to do the awareness, maybe they're supposed to stop thinking that if I don't speak up, I may not get a contract. And the contract that will never come until those 4 years is over. Do you understand? And the appointment that will never come until that 4 years is over. Do you know what I mean? Which how
Yeah, yeah.
people really work so hard to put these people in the office that they never even answer your phone after they got into they get into the office. Yeah, the truth, right?
Yeah.
So many. So whose fault is it? It is our fault. I think that if we want things to change, we have to change, not the government, because we are the government. We put the
Yeah.
government to work. So if we don't change, we will always get what we've been getting till this world ends.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So talking of that, if you are to go back now, is there a way that you could start thinking of like coming up? I'm sure you do, being that you are a youth leader and what have you. I'm sure the youths are doing. Is there a missing link? I know you guys are doing all this election awareness, you're doing all this campaign. Is there a thing that is making it not work when it is time for the election, other than just a few things that I mentioned? Because I know it's obvious. I know election day, my friends are there watching their soccer, Manchester or what have you, and getting suya and what have you, enjoying life. What you know? But is there anything that, especially now that the youth had come out and have spoken, and we know they're really angry, then what is the plan? What is the plan? Because I would tell you, the protest was, to me, was more destructive than helpful. Because people that have businesses that don't even know anything about the government, their businesses were destroyed. Now you've gone back to your community where you used to have your pharmacy where you were buying your medicine, you have destroyed it. So how are you going to get? Is the government going to open another pharmacy for you tomorrow? So I think that for me, the youth, I will talk to youth leaders, is that I think you guys need to retract and really think how you can get these people to respect you. And how they can respect you is when they want you to put them in that chair. Do you agree?
Yeah, sure. I'm getting you right.
You
Yeah.
know, especially now I'm happy that the local governments now are getting funding. So this is a good development, I think, which will help
Yeah.
with maybe getting to achieving some of the objectives of um, the 2030. Probably
Yeah.
within that 6 years, maybe we will gain 2 years of what we are behind now that the local government um, officials are going to be getting the funding, so it will actually be spent in the core electorate. So with that, how are you, ambassador, helping to mobilize your community? And hopefully maybe other youth leaders will hear you and learn how they can also implement it in their own various local government to help this to reduce poverty.
Yeah. Uh, one. One is amending the Electoral Act.
Okay.
That is
Explain,
one.
please.
Yes. One is tra- electronic transmission.
Okay.
Electronic transmission of votes
Ah,
and display at collection centers for electorate to see. as recently witnessed in South African presidential election, people are voting, they are seeing their votes
I
electronic
like it.
transmission.
So if they put, they will see your name, they will show your
Yes,
name and who you casted for, or no?
no, 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 they will not show your name and who you casted for, but they will showing the margin of the person leading.
Okay, okay, okay. Like how they have
Yes,
in the US, like how it's here.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yes, based on the people voting.
yeah.
You
Okay.
understand? So it's transparent. That is one. Then two is to make INEC, the electoral umpire, fully independent from the executive arm of government.
It's not independent right now. It's part of the government.
It's not is fully funded by the executive government.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
why the president can influence the INEC, to dance to their tunes.
mm,
Same thing in the state. The state governor influences their state electoral umpires, even in the ongoing uh, local government election. Some states are being conducted based on the Supreme Court judgment.
did
So
they even have time to do the campaign for the local government? It looks,
honestly, like what is going on in Anambra State,
yeah.
where the Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission
Mm-hmm.
from the timetable say that you have 2 weeks to do campaign. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Is that 2 weeks to do campaign?
So, so in each local government, how many villages are there? And how do they transport to all the villages to
You
talk to the
see,
people? How?
you see, you see. Whereas the Electoral Act, the current law,
Yeah.
provides for 90 days, which
This
is
is
which is
not.
3 months for an election to be
Mm,
conducted.
This is
You
not.
understand?
Obviously, I'm
It's
not going
not.
to say that is everybody, but it looks like the chairmans have already been pre-selected because there is no way you will campaign and convince me versus the other councillor and the other councillor and the other, and you can't. We have to have at least 3 councillors per each state to for one to emerge the leading one per each party, and for one to emerge the leading one against the others, isn't it? Or they just one is going to be. I mean, how was it done?
you know, it's still part of what we're saying. Those electoral umpires are not fully independent institutions.
Wow.
They are still being funded by the executive arm of government. Even in the appointment, it is the executive arm of government that do the appointment.
Wow.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a full independent institution,
Mm-hmm.
electoral umpire, you know, that have a way of getting credible officers to oversee election in Nigeria, whereby for example, the INEC chairman will do the right thing
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
no influence from the executive arm of government, no influence from the president. But INEC is still under the president, you know.
Are people
That is number
advocating?
two.
Okay, so are people advocating for that now, or is just something that is not no place for discussion, or
Yeah,
people
so,
are
yeah, yeah. People are after the 2023 general election.
okay?
You know,
Okay.
To kind of counter what some of the things you said. Nigerians took 2023 general election serious because they needed leadership change,
Yeah.
total leadership change, especially the young people. Presently in Nigeria, young people are over 80 million. Our population are over 80 million.
Yes.
And
Yes.
these young people, majority registered, secure their voters card, majority took out on the electoral on the election day to vote for the candidates they prefer that will do very well. But since INEC is still not independent
Mm-hmm.
of the executive arm of government, they still dance to the tune of the presidency, on who they will announce the winner. Because in 2023, Nigerians voted for a candidate, especially in in presidential election. They voted for someone that is have a president of good governance. Have a history of good governance, transparency, credibility in the office he had occupied before as a governor.
Hmm.
You
So
know,
you think that the 2023 election was flawed? You're saying
yeah,
it's
it was flawed. It was flawed. It was marred, by the electoral umpire. Because why I say it was flawed and marred by the electoral umpire is why switching transmission of election for presidential and you didn't switch that of the National Assembly. Because on that day, when you go to IRL,
Mhm.
when you go to IRL, you will see result of the national uh, elections. For example, the Senate and the House of Reps. You see how the voting is going, the person that's going and all that. But that of the presidency, they switched the transmission. What's up? No result was uploaded. No result was uploaded. No result was uploaded.
Wow.
So it's a deliberate act.
Hmm.
And for the electoral umpire to do something, they have taken instructions from the executive arm of government on who they want to be. Even at the collection center and ICC for the presidential election, the representatives of opposition parties were clamoring. For example, in PDP, Dino Manoye was clamoring, was condemning what the election was doing. That the result you are announcing is not a reflection of what the people voted or their vote in those states. But the INEC chairman continues to announce. Continues to announce. So what I'm saying in essence is that in 2023 general elections, uh, we experience improvement in political education, awareness, civics education. There's an improvement,
Okay.
especially
Good.
on the young people, on the young people, you know. And also that is what led to this NSAS. I mean not NSAS, NBank governance,
Yeah.
NBank governance process. Because yes, we know you didn't get there as through our vote as the president. So you should get things right. You know, you are the president. Get things right for us. You understand? Get things right for us. We need good governance and all that.
And I think that
So the
any government, it doesn't even matter if the people voted for you or don't voted for you, as long as you are the president, you are the president for the whole people, you
yeah,
know?
sure.
Yeah. So to say, because uh, you guys think that, or some people think that he didn't get there as being voted, whoever, whatever the truth may be, is that it doesn't matter. He is the president now. And as a president, as you said, should be able to do what will help the whole country. But with this initiatives that you is being introduced, do you think maybe there is a vision that maybe the masses don't get right now? Maybe, you know how, like, if there is how am I going to describe it? Let's say, let's think of, like, you have a really really bad hairdo. No, you know, like, we're thinking of a growth, right? Like something, or you went out there, somebody made a mistake and messed up your entire hair, and then now you went to a different person to fix it, and that person said, oh, you know, this is how you used to like it, but in order for me to fix it to come back nice, have to do it, but it takes time to get there. Do you think I'm just trying to make it in a layman's language, forgive me if it's ridiculous what I'm talking about, but what I'm saying is that it takes a journey to bring true change. Do you think the policies are just too harsh? It will not yield any result, even if we give it a chance? Or it is very drastic for the situation we are, that if it is lax a little bit and then still be patient in the same route, we will be able to get a better Nigeria? Or this is not going to work, period?
I actually, uh, I'll try to be objective here. The policies are very poor. The policies are not, you know, direct to the or dance to the present economic situation.
Okay.
The tune, the spirit and letters of those policies and most of them legislation are not direct on how to drive the economy forward, how to lift Nigerians out of poverty, how to better the life. So I'm going to the objective, as I said before.
Yeah.
Nigerians expected sound policies that will strengthen our economy. For example, the policy, the first policy announcement by the president of Nigeria is removal of fuel subsidy. Good. Removal of fuel subsidy is a welcome development. But did you put the enabling environment that will ameliorate or cushion the effect of that policy? Our refineries, are they working? Do we have private refineries in Nigeria that will produce petrol, that will produce petroleum products at a reduced price, at a minimum price, so that you will earn well subsidy, you will earn export of petroleum and import of petroleum products. nothing was put in place. Up to now, it's a year plus. It's there. No refinery in Nigeria is working. When I mean refinery, I mean the government refinery.
Yeah.
But if
So NNPC is not working?
no refinery is working, NNPC is not working.
Oh, but it used to work, right? In Warri and all those places, no?
They are still rehabilitating it. They told us that that of the Port Harcourt will work in this August. But from the news, they are still not ready. Warri is not working.
Wow.
But before you remove fuel subsidy, you ought to give yourself 6 months. Give a marching order to your
Yeah.
engineers to fix the refinery so that you will refine our God-given crude oil and supply to Nigerians at a reduced price. Nigeria have crude oil and we are getting pump price
Like
for
we don't have.
petroleum for petrol, that's the premium motor spirit. In some filling station, you see 1,000, 1,050 naira, 950. So think of when we don't have the crude oil, how much do you think you can get it?
We'll go back to the donkeys.
So so these
Yes.
are the so this
Yes.
is the so this is an example of how these policies are going. You just make policy without an enabling environment or an infrastructure to sustain the
So you're
effects.
saying if he had planned it very well, the subsidy
Yeah,
would have been a great idea.
yeah,
It,
sure.
yeah,
It
yeah,
would have been great idea. Okay,
yeah,
now even the money he has made from the removal of subsidy are in trillions of naira.
yeah.
Nigerians are yet to see where that money is going in. Which infrastructure are they using it to, rehabilitate or to build
And you know
and
what,
all that?
Dr. Eze, I am looking at this, oh, 300 bucks, 300,000 bucks of rice. See, okay, let's be honest here. Let's really be honest. You have, even if you have 300 million of bags, do you think you are really building a country to sustainability? Because if you hand somebody, for example, a household, a bag of rice, for example, every household in Nigeria, a bag of rice, are you going to continue every month be giving them a bag of rice?
No,
So
no. You
why
see,
are we not going to reduce the price in the market and have a means of for them to go and buy their own rice? Why don't we create something instead of, I swear to God, I think even the people buying the rice is another contract they're making money off of it, because it doesn't make sense to me. Anybody
yeah,
that want to tell you that I'm going to buy you food to eat so you don't go hungry, am I going to continue buying you food every week and every month and feed all your family?
no,
So I think that even if it is an emergency thing, I think they did wrong. They could have actually just find a way to create jobs for Nigerians so Nigerians can go and buy their own rice.
yeah,
Not
sure,
and not to hand them a bag of rice. I don't think it's a good policy at all. I don't think
yeah,
it's going to help anybody. I know people are excited, they're complaining, though I didn't get rice. I'm just laughing. I said, you don't you get rice massive this month. Are you going to get it next month? Are you going to get it the third and the fourth and the fifth month? Or the government of Nigeria will be buying now, each state government now will be buying 300,000 bags of rice. And because one bag of rice for a family, if you have a family of 6 people, how long is it going to take? How Nigerians eat rice? Morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Is it going to last you a month? Do you understand? So then what happened? If
Yeah.
that bag of rice finished, what happened? You know? So, like I said, honestly, we could say anything, we can scream. I honestly feel like the fault is also us as a people, because even the INEC and thing, it's like this, the presidency is voted by the people. There should be a dialogue. There should be a way that they sit down and say, listen, everybody will enjoy life. You will enjoy governing us. We will enjoy our little self. We're not asking for anything. We're asking for our children to go to school, for us to be able to pay electricity, for us to be able to eat 3 times a day, or not even 3 times a day, twice a day, and for us to be able to go to the hospital. A poor man, that's all they're after. They're not after more than that. So, but we don't have real representative. Our leaders are scared to talk, because like I said, the leaders that are supposed to advocate for the illiterates are afraid to say something because they are waiting for appointment, or they are waiting for a contract. Do you know what you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even
sure.
even some of the youth leaders, that's why sometimes I get disappointed. You see a youth leader screaming and screaming, immediately they give them appointment. All that grassroots work they were doing, those people don't even hear their phone number, and don't hear the phone number is disconnected. So then,
Mm.
how do we? I mean, Ambassador, what advice would you give the youth that you know are trying and they're honestly trying? I don't want to say that the youth don't have a dream. They have they're very, very hardworking. They want to matter. They're seeing other countries happening, but I think in a way they're getting it wrong. As an ambassador and a professional, and someone that is exposed, and you know a lot obviously from how you are talking, what would you tell these youths that are trying to really drive that message for government to start doing good governance versus bad governance? There must be a
Yeah.
roadmap.
Yeah. Is one is being consistent. Two is perseverance.
Yeah.
You know, because when you want to effect a positive change, especially in government, especially in leadership, you must be courageous. You must defend. You must be willing to face challenges. Great leaders that change their political leadership and governance for the betterment of their citizens, they really suffer. For example, in South Africa, you remember the story of Nelson Mandela, you know, how he fought apartheid. When you go to India, you remember Gandhi, Mohammed Gandhi, you
Mhm.
know. uh So, and some other uh, great leaders.
And even our founding fathers of Nigeria, the founding
Yes,
fathers, they were selfless, and
yes,
they also started as youth leaders with a voice,
mm,
driving challenging the British to,
yes. It's
you know,
so being determined, being focused, being resolute, you
yeah.
know, to achieve your aim despite financial inducement or
Mm,
enticement, you know, because when those people you want to fight the bad thing they are doing, notice you, they will come for you to give you money. But when you say no, I want things to be done right, and with time, you say this guy is very serious, these people are serious,
yeah,
they will change.
yeah, yeah,
They will change,
yeah, I agree.
you know,
I agree.
they will change.
Yeah.
So that is just that. That is that. So when Nigerian youth leaders and Nigerian youth continue with that spirit of 2023 general election to effect positive change in our electoral system, in our leadership, I think there will be an increase of getting close to the promised land by 2027 general election.
Yes. Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Despite the INEC flaws, because in 2027 general elections now, the electoral umpire, despite the influence from the executive, will be scared
Yeah. Yeah.
for not doing the needful. They'll be scared, you know, because the awareness is there, the consciousness is there. So for the
Yeah.
youth, let's keep doing what is right, keep the fire burning, keep going, advocating, educating our fellow youth to be informed, you know. Thank you
I
so
think that's a good advice. I think I will add to that. The youth leaders need to start doing what do you call it? Town hall meetings.
much. Okay.
They need to start doing that. Let me tell you why. Because if they had been doing town hall meetings and getting the chiefs and the religious leaders and the elders and and the parents and the educators and start really talking in a dialogue and letting them understand these are the reason why we are not happy and this is what we want you to help us achieve. I think if they start doing that after this bad governance thing that they did and many destruction was done, I think it will. I'm sure the leaders now know that the youth are serious. But in order for the youth to be taken seriously, they need to have a spelled out agenda of what they want to accomplish. That is reasonable. You know, that is reasonable. If they don't even understand some of it, they're just hearing it for just hearing it. They should have a lawyer, a constitutional lawyer that can educate them how things are done, how they can get what they want, and how they cannot get it. And then let them start having their local village to village meeting to city to states. And when they start seeing that movement now being serious and engaging everybody instead of destruction, even the marketers, when the youth leaders now start engaging the marketers and say, listen, we need you guys to support us. We need you to back us. The marketers will be there for them. But I think they need to change they need to communicate. Dialogue is very, very, very important. And we are a culture of respect. And I think cursing out the leaders and saying all those bad things is not going to get you anything. The leaders are already in that chair, except you can curse all you want. They are there. So what you need to do is now try to be smart about it and get your plan ready and discuss with the leaders and do a trade by barter. That's it. You give me this that I want, and I return you next time. And they stay strong. Like you said, if they do it once, they do it twice, they test you, and they see that every day you are having your meetings and you're getting the momentum. I'm telling you, Ambassador Eze, they will say, we better get ready. Oh, these kids are not joking. So, as
Yeah.
a mother, as a sister, as someone that wants to see the best for my country, our country, is that we all need each other. We need the leaders, and the leaders need us. And we need everybody to understand that one Nigeria, productive Nigeria, is better than a divided and unproductive Nigeria. Because if Nigeria doesn't work, Africa is in big trouble. Even the West is in big trouble because we cannot accommodate the population of Nigeria. So I really, sir, thank you so much for all that you do. And I know it's late in Nigeria there. And I really hope that you continue your good job and you continue getting all those other youth leaders and start educating them how to do it well. And I hope to see a different and a better, a better style of governance that will be inclusive of everyone for the betterment of everybody. Because the better that everybody is, the better for you as an individual. Because if you have it, and like my aunt used to say, Khuraira, if you have $1 million in the bank account and everybody in your village is poor, you're still poor, because everybody will come after you to get that $1 million. So all these people that have all this money and have a lot of poor people around them, they're eventually poor because they're going to come after them and get that money one way or the other. So we wish, really honestly, a wonderful, wonderful success to all our youth. And to you guys that are the leaders, I wish you all the best, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, we have seen Ambassador Eze, and we're hoping to get another incredible person that will come and talk to us about what is going on in terms of bad governance and what they think they can do, what can do to help make a difference, and also what the government can help them be better leaders as well in their various communities. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.